Okay, welcome back to the home radio bench here. I know it's been a while. Um, we got this Cobra 138, which I picked up off eBay, which is normally where I get all my radios. I thought I want try something different, so I just went for an older Cobra 138 and got this in, and it's in decent shape as far as the faceplate's concerned. Not a lot of issues with it. I had to clean up all the controls, including the channel switcher here. It was all pretty dirty and not wanting to, switch channels, frequency mix, whatever you want to call it. Had a bad signal meter, which I replaced from a different radio, and was able to get the one that came out of here working again. So I've got it as a spare now. And then also L8 way back here in the transmit section had a bad solder joint, just obviously really old, and kept it from transmit and got that fixed. Receive was fine on it, and went ahead and recapped the whole radio. Got all the old caps sitting right there that came out of it, and that was about it. And it's a solid radio on AM, and obviously only 23 channels, but sounds great on sideband as well. Even through an amp, I've got it aligned nice and clean, and it sounds great. At about 250 watts through that RM Italy up there. So yeah, it's a great little radio. So I thought, what's the old saying? Why have one when you can have two at twice the price? So I've got this in here and have not opened it up yet. Got this, I guess, about a week ago or so. Another 138. So I figured we slap it on the bench, open this thing up, see what we get, and then slap it down the bench and see what it's going to need to get it working. Lately, I've been messing around with a lot of GMRS radios, so I haven't been got kind of bored of fixing old CBs. So, and my local area's got a couple of repeaters up, and that's been a lot of fun lately. Just using some HTs and a mobile radio in the vehicle, and seeing what kind of range I've got and all that stuff. All right, so what do we got in here? So that's what's been occupying a lot of my time lately. So we got whole lot of packing material. That's cool. And there she is. Looks like he probably sent a mic with it, or they sent a mic with it. Let's get some of this stuff out of the way here. All right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this with one hand or not. Let's see how well they packed it pretty well. Let me go ahead and cut this. Oh, it looks like they just saran wrapped it. It's actually a nice idea. All right, let me set this down right here, and I will try to open this up. Get all this saran wrap off of it. That is a really neat idea. Never thought about doing that. All right. Okay, a little bit of tape there. All right, let's see. What do we got here? She's unwinding her. Oh, wow, that does look really nice. And they put it in, even saran wrapped it this way. Look at that. That's not a bad looking radio. That's a very clean faceplate. I don't know if you can see that clearly. Hold on, let me do this. You can see it. Yeah, it's a decently clean faceplate. Can't tell if the meter's stuck or not. It's okay. Like I said, I've got an extra. Very clean looking. Let me put this back down again so I can cut this rest of this saran wrap off here. You can kind of see out of the corner I'm doing it. I'm going to have to remember that. Saran wrap's probably cheaper than tape. Okay, so we got that all off. And let's take a look again here. So it came with a mic. Man, mic looks almost brand new. And it's got a magnet on it. That's pretty neat. Okay. Yeah, it's a nice looking mic. Okay. Let's swap these out and then hook this up and see. Let me turn off power over here. I didn't mean to do that. Let's get this one unhooked. And we will throw this one aside. And then we will see what this one's going to do. All right, let me see if I can get this hooked up here. Try this. All right. Even the back of it's super clean. Wow, thing looks like it's really new. That's crazy. It's a lot better shape than this other one I got. Nope, look at this. No corrosion back here. I don't know if you can really see that, but it's still shiny clean. Look at that. Wow. All right, so let's just hook it up straight to the bench. And we'll see what we see. All right, so we got her hooked up. Let's leave an AM, squelch off. All right, volume off, put dynamic all the way up, RF gain all the way up. We'll center the clarifier. Looks like it's on channel 19. We're running just an amp of current over there. All right, power supply's on. Let's see if she's going to draw a bunch of current. Nope, she's drawing about the average amount that the other one draws, about 0.36, 0.37 amps, and it looks nice. Wow. Okay, so let's get a mic adapter into it. And then what we'll do is just stick her into the HP8920 there. And I hear something already. You hear that? So she receives, meter light works. Let me turn this, I'm sure you can hear that. I'm just running it through an external speaker up there on the corner of the bench. All right, so that's cool. We got about an S9. Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and turn the current up. Let's see. Well, hold on. Before we do that, let's see how well she hears. Let's see if she can hear anything at 1 microvolt. Okay, so it still hears at 1 microvolt. Let's see. We can turn our sign adder on there, and let's move this over to here. We'll hook it up to the sign adder, and we will see. Well, that's weird. I don't know why that's coming out like that. Maybe I can start on my sign adder. All right, well, we won't do that right now. We won't use that. We can probably use, let's see. There's another way I can do synad testing on this bench in a pinch. Well, we'll worry about that later. I don't have another cable out. Otherwise, I'd hook it up to this. But so we know it at least hears at 1 microvolt. So that's good. I might end up having to fix that. Okay, so we can hear at 1 microvolt. Don't know exactly what the synad reading is. And I don't have a cable handy. Or do I? Hold on, let me look. Maybe I got a cable here. I can dig one out in the middle of the dang video. I was not expecting Here we go. Let's see if we can hook it up to here. And hold on. Just kind of fumbling around here. Wasn't expecting that to not work. Oh, so that's the it's on the same thing over there. All right, so we might need to look at that audio circuit then. Might be something fishy going on with the audio circuit. All right, we won't worry about that right now. So it's not our sign adder. It's doing the same thing on the HP8920. Okay, so let's turn up the current over here and let's see if we can. Oh, this is up to 4 amps, and we will key it into here, and we will see if we have any AM power out. How about that? So let's kind of zoom in here so you can see it, and we will see if she can key up. And she can. She's got 2.5 watts out. That's not bad. All right. Let's see if she can key up on channel 1. So we'll try it again. All right, same 2.5 watts. And let's see if she'll key up on channel 23. Same one. Okay, great. So she transmits. That's good. All right, let's go back to channel 19 and we'll see if we can get a waveform. Look at a waveform. All right, so now we're back into the RF sampler here, and we should be able to see it on the scope. Let's give it, we're going to give it a tone, 1 kilohertz tone, and we're going to watch up here. Let me turn this up. Hopefully you can see that. All right, we'll key up. All right, so he's got a waveform. Not the prettiest waveform, but it's not terrible. Not terrible. All right, what about sideband? Let's go to lower sideband. Let me throw 2 tones into this thing. Hold on, give me a second. All right, let's see. Lots of button presses to do all this. Oh, not what I wanted. All right, I should. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Frequency. Yeah, that should be what I want. Okay, so we got our 2-tone test going. RF gain is up. Let's turn that off. All right, so now let's go ahead and just key it up with a 2-tone test on lower sideband and see if she has anything out there. And she does. She's got an output. Okay, so she's overdriven, obviously, on sideband. That's okay. Let's turn the dynamite down. So there you go. So that's all right. So that's just alignment. No big deal. So you see, generally what I try to do when I align these radios, I try to set it for about 4 watts average, which ends up being about the 12 watt peak, 12 watts peak that I'm looking for power wise. And you can kind of see where that kind of rests. And if you crank it all the way up, where dynamite is now all the way full counterclockwise, see how overdriven that is and what kind of power we got out that way. So it's putting out over 10, about 12 watts average like that, which is just way too much. So that's about where we would want it, is right there when it's aligned. That's about where I'd have it set, about 4 watts average, looking about like that. And that'll be a nice clean output. So when it comes to aligning it after, and I'll recap this one as well, then I'll align it to greatly diminish that power output and get it a nice clean Nice clean signal out with low third order intermodulation distortion. All right, so yeah, that's cool. It's going to be a good starting point. So we'll go ahead and turn that off, and we'll I guess what I'll do is I'll just do one more segment. We'll just take a quick look inside before I recap it, and then after I recap it and have it aligned, we'll look at it again and see how well of an alignment we could get out of it. And that's it. So we will be back here shortly. All right, so we're back and we've got the covers off, we've got the speaker out, and taking a look at this thing, it is really, really nice inside. I mean, it's clean. There's not any glue in here that I've found so far. Still looking like it's brand new inside. I mean, gosh. Now, I did notice something different about this one. Let me lean it up here. So this Cobra 138 chassis has this pot right there, which is an ALC pot. Now, the other 138 that I have does not have that. So it was a little tricky to align it to get a clean output from it on sideband. But having that ALC adjustment should make it a little bit easier. So that's cool. So we'll go ahead and get to recapping this. But yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful. I mean, there's not a speck of corrosion on this thing anywhere. Look at the bottom of the PCB here. It's just super clean. So I can zoom in. You can just see how clean and shiny all the solder joints are. It's just amazing looking. So yeah, I got lucky with this one. I can't remember how much I paid for it. I want to say this one was like maybe $69. And, the seller said, I guess just came across it and said, no way to test. So, buying any radio on eBay is a crapshoot. Sometimes you got a lot involved in getting one working and sometimes not as much. But yeah, it's just really, really fantastic looking. So we'll go ahead and get it recapped. I know there was that one strange issue trying to take a synad measurement with the audio output from the rear jack. And I played around with that a little more between last segment and this segment. And it seems like with the volume set a little higher, it didn't seem to have any problems. But maybe just recapping it will fix it, and maybe we'll get lucky that way, or maybe we won't. So we'll go ahead and just get it recapped first, and then we'll see if we still got an issue we've got to address. Other than that, yeah. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to get this recap done. I'm not going to sit there and do it all right now. I'll probably get it started, but it might take me a while, a few days. Like I said in past videos, this is just a hobby to me. Buying old CB radios, I've had people ask me why CB radios, and there's a pretty simple reason: because they're dirt cheap. And it kind of alleviates my fix of wanting to get something in and troubleshoot, repair, and align. You could buy some type of old amateur radio, but you're going to be spending a lot more money get one of those than something like this. So that's why I buy a lot of CBs, just because they're cheap and it's fun to repair something. So yeah, being this is just a hobby, and just depending on what work schedule is and all that, we'll see how long it takes to get this done. But the next segment will be after the recap. So we'll see you here back in a second. All right, so we're back with this old Cobra 138, and we've, I think, got all the issues worked out of it. So we did recap the whole thing here. Went through the whole chassis, replaced every electrolytic capacitor. These boards are a little tougher to do, take a little more time to do. I've been working on it for a couple of days, just here and there. But that's all done. And the issue that I thought I was having with the audio output on receive was actually a transmit and receive problem, and that ended up being over here in this area of the circuit where all the crystals are at, and crystal mixing was not happening as it should, and there was a solder joint that was suspect back here, and then after reflowing that solder joint and then just going through and putting deoxit on the switch just for good measure, everything seems to be transmitting and receiving as it should. What was happening, what I thought was just an audio problem, was that it wasn't receiving at all at that once this area here was affecting the circuit, and it was also not transmitting. So I didn't realize that till after I had it all recapped and was going through the alignment. But yeah, the alignment went pretty smooth. We got her pretty close to being perfectly on frequency, and it's not bad. So I can show you here on the spectrum analyzer. So we've got this set up for 30 kilohertz wide here, and we're on channel 13, 27.115. We'll just key it up, look at it on AM. Modulation set about 95%, I believe. But yeah, she looks nice and clean there. And let's see. Let's go back to here, and we'll look at what she's doing peak power out right now. Key her up again. She's doing about almost 10 watts, and yeah, she's 95%. And I don't really use this Boonton very often, but I'll throw it on here once in a while, and just to see how far off they are between the 8920 and the Boonton. So we'll look and see what it shows for modulation. Yeah, about the same thing, 97%. So yeah, and there's our waveform right now. And yeah, she came out all right. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put the speaker back on, and then we'll flip it over and we'll see if we can hear any traffic out there before we close out this video. And I'll be right back. Let me get the speaker hooked up and get the chassis back together and get her flipped back over. All right, we'll be back. So yeah, she's back together and she's working great, and she looks beautiful. Yeah, I got lucky on this one. I was really hoping there wasn't going to be anything detrimentally wrong with it, just because I've only got one other one of these Cobra 138 23 channels, and so I don't have a parts chassis yet for one of these. So I mean, I've got some other 23 channel radios I could have pulled crystals from if there was a crystal issue, but yeah, I might have been scrounging if I had something seriously wrong with it. So I'm glad that that wasn't the case. And yeah, so been kind of getting into the 23 channels lately. Also kind of getting into GMRS as well. I've got a GMRS Retevis RA87A up there. Been playing around a lot with that. Yeah, so maybe we'll do a video on some GMRS stuff again here shortly. But anyway, another fun little project done, and now sit on the shelf and get used once in a while. So until next time, we'll see you guys later. 73s.